On the 30th of November 2013, the African music icon Tabu Ley died. In February 2014, as the Rumba fans were still mourning, they were made aware of the death of another icon, King Kester Emeneya. In fact, it was reported that the king, who had already been hospitalized before, had seen his condition deteriorate when they announced the death of his idol, Tabu Ley. The idea that the death of Tabu Ley could have affected Emeneya to the point of altering his health may seem strange to someone who did not know how much of a fan Emeneya was. But for the ones who know, this wasn't strange. Not at all. In fact, there are multiple episodes in history that has shown how Emeneya idolized Tabu Ley. The purpose of this video is to use that example to highlight the power that idolization can have and how it can often affect our lives. So hello, welcome to the Botengu channel. I use this channel to show videos about music theory, others with myself playing music, and I also like to make small documentaries on African music. You can like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Tabu Ley and Emeneya are both huge icons in Rumba music. The former is 16 years older than the latter, and both of them have had to impact their time in their own way. However, some strange similarities can be pointed out between the careers of the two singers. In the early 60s, Tabu Ley starts as the mentee of Grand Calais in African jazz. In 1977, Emeneya gains prominence under Papa Wemba's wing. In 1963, Tabu Ley and his colleague Dr. Nico left Grand Calais and both co-founded African Fiesta. In 1982, Emeneya left Viva la Musica with his colleague Bipoli to create Victoria et les Sons. In 1965, Tabu Ley separates himself from Dr. Nico and becomes the leader of his orchestra, African Fiesta Nationale. Around 1984, Bipoli leaves Victoria et les Sons to create his own group, making Emeneya Victoria's sole leader. In the early 70s, Tabu Ley rebrands his group Afriza International. In the 90s, Emeneya rebrands his group Victoria et les Sons Dream Team Dream Band. Tabu Ley becomes one of the biggest stars in the late 60s and the early 70s. Emeneya is one of the biggest stars during the mid-80s. Tabu Ley is known to have popularized the drum sets in Congolese music, while Emeneya is known to have popularized synthesizer and computer-assisted music production. Tabu Ley will remain the leader of his group until his death, and Emeneya as well. Are those similarities random, or are there blatant proofs of how Emeneya idolized Tabu Ley? No one can really tell. Indeed, Emeneya did not have a lot of control over some of the things cited above. But the facts that I'm about to mention might help anybody answer the question. The first consideration is how Emeneya used to sing. According to Gary Stewart, Emeneya's tenor ascended into the upper register much like Tabu Ley's. But the sterling notes were tempered with a throaty edge that evinced passion. It is probably for this very reason that Jean Pissy called Emeneya the best of Rochereau's students. Another demonstration of Emeneya's idolization for Rochereau was the types of artists that he considered. One of Emeneya's most famous songs is Comme la Rue, and it features Lokasa Mbongo as the guitarist. Lokasa was a member of Afriza International. The song is reminiscent of the early 60s rumba, which Tabu Ley and Grand Calais used to perform. Dombe Opetum was initially part of Afriza International, and according to his son, Babi Dombe, Dombe Opetum had written songs for Emeneya. The artist Macolin was a key figure of Victoria et les Sons during the 80s. Interestingly enough, he has a voice that sounds exactly like the one of Tabu Ley. It may have been an important reason that he was recruited by Emeneya. Maybe it was a way for Emeneya to envision himself singing with Tabu Ley. In the early 70s, Rochereau performed at the Olympia concert venue in Paris, and he is probably one of the few that we should credit for European concert halls becoming a metric for the success of Congolese musicians. And that is also probably what can explain Emeneya's burning desire to perform there, as well as being recognized by the European musical environment. It is only in 2002 that Emeneya would be performing at the Olympia. Symbolically, he would invite Tabu Ley to perform with him on stage. There, he would perform some of Tabu Ley's songs and have Tabu Ley perform some of his songs as well. Now, having considered all those elements, maybe and just maybe, the earlier similarities were not completely innocent. Sometimes we tend to base our decisions and our lives on things that we can't even grasp completely. In conclusion, while Tabu Ley was the idol of many, saying that Emeneya was his biggest fan would not be an exaggeration, not at all. Now, the decision he made by being a conscious fanatic were pretty obvious. However, sometimes our idolization governs our decision at a much deeper level than we can even conceive. And what is interesting is that even the decisions Emeneya made without trying to copy his idol still are similar to the ones made by his idol. Is this a coincidence? We'll never know.